Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Excedo Playback, the podcast discussing industry news, trends, and tech advancements in the streaming and OTT industry. I'm your host, Neil Van Zyl, and today we're going to talk about FAST. Who else to talk about FAST with other than Amagi's SVP of Strategy, Business Operations, and New Product Initiatives, Siva Natarajan. Siva, how are you?
Good. How are you, Neil? Thanks for having me on this call.
It's great to have you. We're really excited to talk about this. Siva, I understand that you've also founded a company, I believe it's called Expat Productions, that focuses in on producing Indian classical dance music and video content. Have you always been interested in the entertainment industry, or where did this passion start?
Yeah, I'm glad that you went into my background on LinkedIn. That's always a passion of mine outside of my day job as a strategist in a media company. I've always tried to dabble on the creative side. I've done some small time acting here and there. And after I started working at Disney, I realized that there is an opportunity to do some cross border US India creative productions. So I tend to look at opportunities where there is an intersection of India and the storyline, try to do remakes, and there is a project that's on its way, but not sure when or if it'll ever see the light of its day. Creative, it's a long journey. It's not going to be an easy one.
I completely understand. It's you think you're done after filming or recording, but then post production can take just as long, if not longer.
I'll be happy if mine goes into production. At least you have, you know, a better problem to solve.
Yeah. Well, let's hop into fast here. Let's just start it off basic. What's what's something that you would like to share or tell content providers just to set the record straight with fast or fast content aggregation?
I speak with content providers a lot as part of my job at Amagi, really trying to understand what their motivation, what their strategy to get into fast is. There are many facets how fast can be useful to their overall company strategy. If it's about pure incremental revenue, fast could be the home for some. If it's about really using fast as a way to get insights of data to support other businesses, that could also be a mechanism through which they can look at fast. But primarily, fast is in its early days, just getting started. Even though, at least in our worlds, we hear about fast a lot from some major content providers' standpoint. They're all just coming off the SWOT, D2C train, and just beginning to look at fast. From an advertisement standpoint, fast has a long growth laid out in front of it. There is going to be a shift of ad dollars from traditional TV to connected TV. So fast is in its very early stage when it comes to advertising spend. And even from a viewership standpoint, fast is still in its early stage. If you look at the Nielsen's gauge, which is an industry standard TV viewership data that comes out on a quarterly basis, if you look at the share of fast viewership within US TV households, it's less than 5%, right? So the viewers are also not there in fast. We are just getting started. It used to be less than 2% just a year ago. So has already made its dent into the streaming ecosystem. It is showing up now in Nielsen's gauge consistently. So for content providers, if I were to give them an optimistic view of what fast is all about, ad dollars are coming. It's a matter of when. So be ready to take advantage of all those ad dollars. Viewers are also going to be coming in. So be ready to really wow them with amazing content. Just don't look at fast as a clearinghouse or graveyard for your old content. Really program deliberately or diligently for fast so that when viewers discover your channel, they really want to stay on it and they want to come back to it. And then for fast services themselves, try to really differentiate between each other. Currently, if I turn on one fast service versus another, I get the same set of channels. There is no differentiation in terms of content and also even viewer experience. So fast services can become a lot more innovative than where they are today. So for content providers, I would say ads, fast services, viewers, they're all like going to be making their presence felt on fast. So be ready to wow them.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about how fast is still in its growth stage. I mean, if you look at some of the great fast reports that you that Amagi has put out, that I'm an avid reader of, you still
Thank
see
you.
triple digit percentage growth in viewing time increases over the last 6, 12 months or so on across most of the globe,
Yeah.
which is really fascinating to see. You talk about now how fast has become more of a premium experience. It's not just something, it's not some second consideration or place to just place content that you're not really sure what to do with. So have you seen a bit of a rise in fast providers or fast distributors leaning into original content?
We are beginning to see signs of it. There are some strong signals out there where original content is making its way into fast. For example, last summer, Jury Duty on Freebie, right, was the number one show on streaming TV ratings, even above some original shows of Netflix and Apple TV, etc. So, original content made exclusively for a fast service like Freebie really proved that it could draw viewers into that specific show or channel. That's one. And I'm also seeing many niche players like Tastemade, Gusto TV. All these are lifestyle oriented niche channels. They are really investing heavily in original content. For example, Tastemade even won an Emmy last year for an original show, right? So and then Roku, right, had a original movie Weird Al that was
Hmm.
premiered on its fast service. So when there are so many channels out there, 300 plus, 400 plus channels out there, every channel is trying to really differentiate itself from the pack. It's really trying to find another brand. It's a battle to really get the viewers' attention. In order for that to happen, content providers have to do two things, right? A, really be creative with their programming, even if it's old content. They have to be thematically promoting it, thematically be programming it. Or two, create some content that is exclusive on their service so that viewers will come to their channel to watch that. Original content is the way to do it. If that content is available elsewhere, viewers have no reason to come into the channel. So all these content brands are realizing now that fast, in order to really bubble up in the clutter of fast channels, they have to really have something that's unique and exclusive. And also the economics in the fast ecosystem, which is primarily driven by advertising, are also showing some positive signs that it's okay to take a risk in investing in original content. Advertising will draw enough revenues to break even or even, turn those shows into profitable ventures. So I'm pretty bullish. I feel that there will be a House of Cards Netflix style moment one day when there is an amazing uh, premium show that is dropping exclusively in fast. Currently, we are not there, but Jury Duty and all these lifestyle shows are low to mid-range budget shows. If you recollect Netflix, right? Netflix was licensing shows, and then it created an amazing House of Cards, a premium HBO quality kind of show that made D2C spot servers arrive in their prime time. So Fast will have its moment one day where premium shows will be featured or be shown exclusively on Fast.
Yeah, you talk about how competitive it is, and this is one method of differentiation. One thing that's been interesting to me is just how well single IP channels seem to be doing compared to just multi IP. Do you have any theories as to why that is?
Single IP is a very unique phenomenon in Fast. Fast primarily offers a lean back, passive viewing experience, right? That's the draw of Fast. It's not about just streaming because you have enough options in streaming. You can go to YouTube. TikTok is also a way of streaming. You can go to other AWOD services. The convenience of Fast is really providing you something that you are very nostalgic about watching, and you would just want to lean back and you want to let the show just run its course, so you don't have to go and grab the remote. In a single IP show, you know exactly what to expect, right? It's not like YouTube every 2 minutes You don't know what is going to be programmed next, and you have to really take control of your viewing experience. In a single IP, you come into a show, example, say a Bob Ross, you know what to expect episode after episode, right? It's your comfort food. You know exactly what is going to be served. You know what that brand is all about. You know what that character is. You know what that personality is. So Fast has become such a great haven for single IP shows that have found their kind of second lease or third lease of life. They were all splattered all over YouTube and other digital medium before, and it was difficult for the viewers to find those shows. Wherein Fast, you can actually curate episode after episode, and typically watched on a big TV, using a remote control, and viewers are completely fine. They're not looking to swipe right or swipe left because it's not that easy on a connected TV. So as long as the show is what they expect and they know what it is all about, you just let it run its course. And we have seen some statistics, right? Single IP has the highest survival rate among fast channels, because all the fast services, they typically, they do their spring cleaning, right? If you're not
Hmm.
performing, they're not going to keep you on their EPG grid forever. So fast services are constantly watching, okay, who's a low performer? Who should I be culling out of my service? Who should I be replacing the channel with? If you look at that statistic, single IP channels typically have the longest survival rates. And within single IP, I think single IP drama and single IP reality shows are the most popular because it's comfort, it's running in the background, you know what to expect, and you're like very familiar about the show, and you're just like watching it. Yeah, it's a unique phenomenon for Fast, and you're going to see a lot more of those now show up on Fast.
Very cool. Yeah. So it gives you that binge experience, but still in the lean back method that Fast helps with.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's jump back a little bit. We were talking about how you mentioned that some of the niche providers are creating more fast channels. Do you think that niche providers are going to go for a sort of global expansion competition with some of these major players, or are you thinking they're going to stick with channels, or maybe reduce that to smaller regions where they'll try and focus in?
To be honest, the definition of fast service itself is changing. If you had asked me, what do you mean by a fast service 2 years ago, I would have said, okay, Pluto is a fast service, Vizio Watch Free is a fast service. And if you asked me last year, I would also say, you know what, okay, Google TV is a fast service, right? Today, if you ask me, I would even say Sling Free Stream is a fast service, right? Because it has fast, free linear channels available within a pay TV ecosystem. So the definition of fast service itself is changing rapidly. It's no longer just one app. It's no longer just an app that belongs to a TV OEM. We're also now seeing linear channels show up within SWAT services. Disney announced that they're going to be launching linear channels inside Disney Plus, right? Whether it's free
Mhm.
or paid, we don't know that yet. But it is a linear channel experience making its appearance in as many streaming services as possible. So you're going to have niche fast services. I think Distro TV is one, or Local Now is another one where it's all about local channels. So everybody will try to really cater to a niche audience, whether it's through specific curation of channels tailored for that niche audience, whether it's genre based or regional based or language based, right? Wix is another example of a streaming service, right? Primarily focused for Hispanic speaking audiences. They may have fast service dedicated just for them. So as more content comes in, as viewership grows, as ad dollars come and chase this ecosystem, you're going to be seeing more fast services come into this to make their play and really differentiate themselves through all kinds of methodologies, whether it's through regionalization or different user experience or through personalization, etc., etc. So my answer is, I don't have a perfect answer, but it is going to be really it is going to be a really expansive universe when it comes to fast service. You cannot just pin down one service and say this is fast and that is not fast, because fast is permeating across all the facets of the streaming ecosystem.
That's a great point you bring up. I mean, it's been an interesting phenomenon over the last year or two with all of the churn predicaments or the inflationary pressures. Most services are racing to differentiate, and like you
Mhm.
said, including ad tiers, perhaps even just fast components, so that regardless if the top SVOD tier is a bit too much, then users can drop down a bit, but still maintain them in their ecosystem. That's a great point. It's hard to differentiate. I want to jump in a little bit there where you were talking about local. One of the interesting things, again, as well as what you mentioned, where news specifically, but also the local news has been a great success in Fast. Why is it that I guess local content has been so appreciated in a Fast format?
Local used to be a very constrained distribution ecosystem, right? When you had just the cable set top box as an option. If you are a New York channel, if you're a Dallas based channel, you could only be reaching out to those audiences in that DMA or in that, in that addressable zone. Through an IP based, internet based ecosystem, that constraint has been broken. So you could be NBCU Boston, but you have lots of Bostonians living in Los Angeles that still want to follow up what's happening in Boston with respect to regional sports, with respect to weather, with respect to other events happening in Boston. So now local provides that gateway to really catch up with what's going on in certain markets that you're interested in. In your old cable TV world, there was never an option. You had to have a service in Boston to be able to see it. So as you look at the US demographics, now local TV stations have figured out a way to expand beyond their geo specific zone and get into as many places as possible through an CTV based ecosystem. CTV gives you that targetability when it comes to who the viewer is, what is the household makeup, what is the profile of the viewers, taste and preferences, etc., etc. But that same kind of attributes are also useful for local TV stations. If there is an ad that's running that's specific to that market, doesn't have to be just shown to people in that market. It could also be shown to somebody that matches those attributes that are relevant for the brand. So local now is a great example, right? They have like so
Mhm.
many channels stacked up on their EPG. We actually have heard from NBCU local station groups. They used to be able to get to only their audiences in the local, set top box zone, but through FAST, NBCU New York can now reach somebody in California. And collectively, we heard from them in one of the speaking events that local news stations viewership on FAST is now about 13% of the total NBCU cable viewership, right? You can
Wow.
imagine how big the universe of NBCU viewership is, but local news is contributing in early teens to that viewership proportion. So it is definitely a great opportunity to expand for local news.
That's super interesting. Let's take a step back and just talk about from a content provider's perspective. How would you recommend a content provider thinking about going into Fast consider their distribution strategy when let's with profitability first, right? Does that mean they should wade in with a channel or two, or how do you suggest they start out?
Profitability first, is it? Is that I think the question of profitability is a sensitive one when it comes to fast, because not all brands or libraries will start seeing insane revenues from month one, right? It's a long play. Very first aspect for any content provider coming into fast is to make sure that they are securing distribution on premium fast services, right? There are like 6 to 8 premium fast services in the US, which account for over 90% of the total fast service revenues, right? So you have a handful of 6 to 8 fast services that you have to be absolutely on in order to really draw that viewership and draw those advertising revenues for your channel. So that's number one, right? Distribution is extremely important. And then being able to promote why your channel is different or why somebody should watch your channel at that moment, at that time. Thematic promotions like Halloween, right? If you are a horror based channel, how do you really take advantage of an event like Halloween and promote your content and ask for some specific placements with your fast service? Like thematic promotions, those are things that content providers should look at even after they secure distribution on a specific fast service. That's two. And then really getting some basic hygiene in place, right? Metadata is something that is extremely important for any content provider to be successful in the fast ecosystem. That's the heartbeat of the fast ecosystem for any content provider, right? Metadata helps in really making discoverability easy for the viewers, right? How do you show up on that EPG when somebody, stops on your channel? You should be able to tell to the viewer what is the program that is currently running. Or if somebody is searching for a specific show or a genre, having the right metadata so that you are able to meet that search criteria and appear in front of the viewer, that's important. And metadata is also important from an advertisement standpoint, right? When all those programmatic ads are coming into different inventories in the fast ecosystem, if a specific audience or a specific show is the target for an advertiser, if you're not screaming out loud that you are that show, right? They, for example, if an automobile ad is targeting uh, viewers that are watching an action movie, right? If your metadata does not clearly say that you are an action movie, you're missing out on that opportunity to draw those ad dollars. So that's such type of hygiene is also very important for content providers, right? So I would say placement on a service, and then promotion on a service, and then obviously all the hygiene that you need for a fast channel to be successful. Those are key ingredients, and the rest will fall in place. Obviously, most important, content is king, right? You need to
Mhm.
have amazing content also. If you are simply repurposing some YouTube video that you have into your fast channel, doesn't mean that viewers are going to immediately come here. It has to look high quality because your channel is being watched on the biggest screen, in the house. You want to make sure that it's high quality. It has all the elements of a premium content, right? Maybe graphics, things like that are important because when viewers are coming into fast, they expect this experience to be of cable TV quality because the experience is very similar to a cable TV channel. But if it looks like a repurposed YouTube video that is stretched to a television screen aspect ratio, it's not going to look good for the viewer, right? They're going to immediately switch to the next channel. So those are some key elements that content providers should be paying attention to.
So, if let's say a content provider comes to you to work with Amagi and they bring the VOD assets, does the Amagi platform support then this ability to enrich metadata, or do they provide tools so that the content provider can enrich this metadata or even the content enrichment before they create the channels?
Definitely. We offer a media enrichment service as part of our portfolio of solutions. We want to create a scenario wherein the content provider comes to us and says, "Hey, Amagi, these are our assets, right? 100 hours of assets. Take it, distribute to as many touch points as possible. It could be what experience or create a channel out of this. Or if they want to even overlay live on top of it, we want to provide as many options and almost a one stop shop kind of an experience for any content provider so that when they drop the asset to us, we enrich it. If we want to localize it, if you want to subtitle it, we want to do it through us or with many of our partners. And then we can even, through machine learning, detect what are the ideal spots for ad breaks if you're creating a linear channel. Say you're giving me a show which is all about two people talking, right? It's not easy to really figure out when is the optimal moment to take a break and really insert an ad break. So we have some tools, machine learning based tools in our portfolio of products, which will detect what is the ideal moment to really create a linear channel out of this set of assets and create the right kind of ad breaks at the right time, right? So we want to be offering a complete 360-degree suite of solutions to our customers.
Touching a bit more on the actual ad breaks themselves. Obviously, what has helped Fast proliferate is the standard pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll experience. But is Amagi exploring any advanced dynamic ad insertion use cases, like computer vision insertion or maybe interactive ads?
We have actually just launched interactive or overlay content ad units. So we believe that simply repurposing those, 30-second, 45-second, video ads is not going to be enough to open up the ad potential of this connected TV ecosystem, right? CTV is such a powerful device. It's almost like your mobile phone. You should be able to interact with it. You should be able to store things. You should be able to add things to a shopping cart. Such kind of interactivity we want to start introducing to CTV via these ad units. We have an L band ad unit. We have picture in picture ad units that is underway. We're also trying to bring in interactive QR codes as part of these interactive ad units. You can have a QR code in your lower third ad units. We believe that programmatically, these ad units should be made available to be served to the audiences. We are not there yet. It's still in its early stage. We're not seeing proliferation of these non video ad units in the CTV ecosystem widely being used, specifically within FAST. But we are offering these ad units to our content providers and also to FAST services. And we are providing them all the technology tool sets and also providing them even with ad sales, right? We have conversations with our demand side partners to buy such ad units. We're also encouraging our publishers or our content providers to incorporate such ad units into their content stream. So you need to really grease the system both on the supply and the demand side so that there is wider adoption of such ad units and there is return on ad spend for the advertiser importantly at the end of it. So early stages, and you're seeing now trends such as Walmart's acquisition of Vizio, Amazon's focus on shoppable ads, right? Thanksgiving last year was a great example on how shoppable ads were introduced into Prime Video. So interactive ad units are going to be hopefully mainstream one day, but it is definitely here to stay.
Mhm.
And we are prepared to offer as many solutions to our customers for that.
Yeah, it's great. I think one of the interesting things now is as Fast starts to mature, we are starting to look at the next stage of Fast, the of something that I believe Excedo and Amagi have been calling Fast 2.0. I think dynamic advertising or these new advertising use cases are a part of that. But what else is there that you think is a part of this new stage of Fast? Is in what do you think customers can get the most value out of?
First, I want to give a shout out to Acedo for the great collaboration that you guys have offered to Amagi to really bring Fast 2.0 vision to market. It is in its early stage, but requires visionary companies such as Cedo to make sure that you are stepping up to the plate and you are evangelizing what the future of Fast could look like so that other stakeholders, be it content providers, fast services, or advertisers, are able to see what that vision is and are willing to participate. In Fast 2.0, we are taking a viewer centric approach, right? You and I are avid television viewers, video viewers, right? But if you come into Fast experience, you'll realize that you've almost time traveled maybe 20 years or 30 years back from your YouTube or Netflix style experience, right? You're coming into a show, it's already playing. It's a file based show, it's not a live show. But if you want to watch from beginning, you cannot, right? Because Fast is supposed to be a linear experience and you are stuck with it and you're going to be running into it because somebody else decided that. Tough luck, right? You have to watch what is being shown. And if you like something, there is no way for you to express that you like it and you want to see more of it in Fast, right? It's still a one-way communication broadcast. And if you are watching, say, season one of episode one of a show, and you really want to now watch episode 2 of that same season, you cannot seamlessly go to that experience because someone else decided that you should be watching something else after that episode 1 ends, right? So we're really taking a viewer centric experience and challenging all the current constraints of fast, because fast today has pretty much replicated the cable like experience, right? Great. That has gotten fast to where it is today, but in order for fast to really reach its 3x potential that we are expecting it to have, fast needs to really reimagine its experiences and how it is being delivered to the end viewer, right? So seamless navigation, right? Going from linear to what, being able to interact, being able to binge watch, like, dislike, such experiences are needed, right? Navigation is key. The second one is personalization, right? You get the same set of 300 channels, and I get the same set of 300 channels. That doesn't exist in the world of Netflix or YouTube, right? Your homepage is different from mine. So, personalization really needs to be a table stake feature that Fast should offer in its next evolution. So your 300 channels are different from mine. And also your 7 to 8 p.m. on a food channel, right? You're watching a show. Your 7 to 8 p.m. could be about a barbecue show, and my 7 to 8 could be about a dessert show, right? There is no reason why both of us have to see that same content at that same time. So such level of personalization should be made available, and also the concept of channels themselves could be improvised. Almost we see a world where it becomes a playlist, right? Your playlist is different from my playlist, and we don't have to necessarily constrain it through an EPG grid of 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. It could be just a seamless flow of content that is flowing through in a linear fashion but doesn't have to be time constrained using EPG, right? So navigation, personalization, and also ad units, as we already talked about, right? Ad units need to be completely reinvented for the CTV experience. We are not even doing the bare minimum to flex the power of CTV, right? CTV could give you a lot more powerful opportunities for both brand building and to serve as a performance medium for advertisers. We're not there yet. So, long road ahead, but we have seen encouraging signs from partners such as yourselves to come along on the vision of Fast 2.0 and bring some ideas to reality through all these demos that we have done at NAB and other places. And we're also beginning to see some of our customers engage in conversations with us. They are cherry picking this and that at this juncture when we present them with different concepts. But we are very hopeful, maybe a year or two from now, everybody will have these standard set of features, right? Because we all want the TikTok and YouTube and Netflix style of experience in every streaming video touch point that we have. And today, I don't think it's as widely available or even remotely available and fast.
Yeah, it's a great call out how critical user experience is going to be in the next evolution of Fast. And I just want to say likewise, it's been a pleasure to partner with Amagi, and we've really enjoyed all the work that we've done together. We talked about the niche providers maybe not necessarily going their own way for, I guess, launching channels. There's no real differentiation between fast and mixed monetization methods for these big providers. But what we didn't touch on was how much the regional aspect affects the overall fast consumership. So what I want to ask is more just about why are some regions, I guess, slower to adopt fast, and what are you seeing in those regions that maybe is indicating that that might be changing?
So, from an international standpoint, if you look at the advertising revenues breakdown, US continues to dominate, will continue to also dominate its share of global revenues, right? Currently, it's close to 90%. It'll remain at that range even as fast expands. So, in the US, it's primarily driven because of cord cutting, right? As viewers cut their cable TV subscriptions, and move to streaming. They're looking for similar experiences, and Fast offers that cable TV like experience. So that trend is accelerating of viewers coming from traditional TV to pay TV in the US. So for UK, right, and European markets, given cord cutting is not such a severe phenomenon like it is in the US, Fast is going to have its gradual growth. It's not going to spike at the rate that the US experienced, but it will remain a considerable part of their streaming ecosystem. If you look at all the revenues being projected, UK is going to be at half a billion very soon. Germany is a strong market. Australia is going to be a strong market. So many advanced, developed markets with heavy CTV penetration and with a strong programmatic advertising ecosystem will see Fast evolve faster than the rest of the regions, right? So CTV and programmatic advertising are the crux for Fast, and Asia we are seeing it, but not at the rate that we are seeing some of the markets in Europe evolve. So you're gonna see a phased approach, similar to how it happened in the SVOD direct to consumer stream, right? Not everybody had Netflix from day one. It trickles down based on when the market becomes available for that mode of consumption or monetization. Uh, so developed markets, Western markets go first with a healthy programmatic advertising ecosystem.
I'd love to keep talking on that. I'm really grateful for your time. I'll just leave you with one more question. Keep it nice and easy.
Totally fine. Yeah.
What what excites you the most about the future of Fast?
What excites me is all the unknowns, pretty much. If you had asked me 2 years ago where would Fast be today, I would have guessed something else completely different from where it is today, right? I think we are just getting started. I'll keep repeating that sentence. There are some known opportunities in front of us, right? We talked about personalization, we talked about innovation and ad, we talked about amazing viewer experiences. Those are known things that we can solve for to make a marginal improvement of Fast from where it is today. But there could be some completely amazing things coming into Fast. Sports, right? Sports is a huge opportunity that has not made its way into Fast yet, right? Live streaming of sports, I would say sports has just gotten into streaming, mainstream. If you look at the JV that Disney, Warner Brothers, Fox, they have, right? That makes a statement that yes, sports can be now be made available exclusively on streaming. I think it has just made its entry there. Now, sports coming into Fast. One day, Super Bowl could be on Fast because currently the Super Bowl is ad supported, right? You are watching it on a broadcast station. There is no reason why Super Bowl could not be streamed live on Fast. So those are opportunities that I'm really waiting for Fast to really take in, and I'm very bullish that there could be a lot more than what we talked about today that other people are working on to expand the universe of Fast. I think ad supported and streaming, that's the intersection. That's where the magic is going to happen in the world of streaming. I think subscription model has been proven to be okay. It has already plateaued. Hence, everybody is coming into ad supported business models, your Netflix of the world, your Disney's, everybody. So the future is going to be at the intersection of ad supported and streaming, whether it's Fast or it's a combination of Fast and VOD, whether it's, VOD and subscription. Those are all like concoctions that you can mix. But Fast being at the intersection of ad supported and streaming will get the most benefit because of this shift.
Siva, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed our conversation. It was a real blast. Really appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks for the opportunity. This was fun, and maybe we'll check in a year from now to see if any of our predictions came true. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool.
All right, that's it for the podcast. Thank you so much to Siva for joining us. We really appreciate your time. It was a great conversation. One last shout out before we go. I'd like to take a second to thank Hollyland Mics for sponsoring this episode. We've been using them for a while now and are really happy with the sound quality and the ease of use. Not to mention, they're pretty affordable. So thanks again, Hollyland. If you have any questions about this episode and you'd like to reach out, feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn or send us an email at playback.podcast@exceedo.tv. That's all for this time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later.